योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं यं गुरुं हि स्वयं सत्यः प्रज्ञाभक्तिविनीतयः दीप्तिश्चापि प्रदा नित्यं तं गुरुं प्रणमाम्यहं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. So we are commencing our sessions on Sivanandalahari with a break to Vedanta Muktavali as decided by some of the students. Shankara Bhagavad Pada is praised with various accomplishments, and he is highest philosopher of all times. One of the Namavalis in the Ashtottara Shata Namavali is Saundaryalahari Mukhya Bahustotra Vidhayakaya Namaha. This is Namavali. Saundaryalahari Mukhya Bahustotra Vidhayakaya Namaha. So Mukhya means, so commencing with that, etc. He has also composed several stotras. This is what the Namavali says. This is a great audarya which Bhagavad Pada has showered upon the humankind. Why am I saying this? I am saying this because a philosopher of such high standard, so coming down to the level of composing verses on various deities at a very, very, very simple level is not an easy thing. That he is a philosopher of extraordinary accomplishment is something which has been stated in one of the stotras which my grandfather used to say. I just say that verse. Vyaso darishayati sma sutra kalitan nyayaugha ratnavalihi Arthalabhavashan nakairapi budhaihi eta grihitaschiram Arthaptya sulabhabhirabhiradhuna temanditah panditaha Vyasaschapa kritarthatam yatipatehe audaryam ascharyakrut. This is how the verse goes. So this speaks of the great service that he has done by commenting upon the Brahma Sutras. So it goes, the description goes like this. Vyasa is described as someone who is selling a beautiful necklace. Vyaso darishayatisma. There is a pun in this beautiful composition. Sutra kalitanyayau gharatna valihi. Sutra kalita means this necklace is made up of sutra. And the sutra is Brahma Sutra. Nyayaughha ratnavalihi. Nyayasya Ogha means Samuha. So it is essentially Nyayas, right? Most of the sutras end with Panchami Vibhakti. And therefore, Nyayaughha ratnavalihi. Vyasa was showing this Ratnavali. The Ratnavali made of sutras. Right? Vyaso darishayati sma sutra kalitanyayaughha ratnavalihi arthaha labhavashat. This word artha has again a pun here. One is money, the other is meaning. Arthasya alabhavashat means because people did not get the artha. Artha in the sense of normal necklace, to purchase this is such a precious necklace, and therefore people did not have money. The other thing is arthala bhavasat. Nobody could figure out what the sutras were mentioning. Arthala bhavasat nakairapi budhaihi. See, so budhaihi nakairapi. Okay, nobody was able to make use of this Ratnavali. Vyasa has created that. Arthala bhavasan nakairapi budhaihi yeta grihita aschiram. Chiram means for a long time. Nobody could take that Ratnavali. Then further the verse says, Arthaptya sulabhabhirabhiradhuna. Now Bhagavad Pada entered into the scenario, and then he brought the necessary artha for that. Artha is the meaning for those sutras, so which was presented to us by Bhagavad Pada. I don't think anybody can understand these sutras without the commentary that has been written by Bhagavad Pada. Arthaptya sulabhabhihi abhiradhuna te mandita pandita. All the scholars, so we get some kind of recognition somewhere in sabhas. It is all because of the mercy of Bhagavad Pada. Te manditaha. Manditaha means adorned. Panditaha manditaha. Okay. Arthaptya. So he gave the necessary artha and made you adorn that necklace. Arthaptya sulabhabhirabhiradhuna te manditah panditaha vyasaschapakrtarthatam yatipatehe. Now he says the purpose for which Vyasa wrote is also fulfilled now. Vyasaschapakrtarthatam yatipatehe audaryam ascharyakrut. He says yatipatehe. So he is, Bhagavad Pada is described as Yatipati. Audaryam, the generosity of this Yatipati is something really amazing. Why am I saying this? I am saying this because the toughest nut to crack is this Brahma Sutra, as far as I can see. So you can understand this Patanjali Sutra without commentary, you can understand to some extent even the Panini Sutra without difficulty. But Brahma Sutra, you will never be able to understand. Okay. So without the commentary and the link and the Adhikarana Vibhaga and so on. So a philosopher of that standard, Bhagavad Pada, stepped down to help people by composing stotras for the sake of common man. That's why Saundaryalahari Mukhya Bahustotra Vidhayakaya Namaha, Shanmata Sthapanacharya Namaha, and so on. The Shanmata Sthapanacharya Namaha you can see even by composing various stotras. If you look at, see this stotra grantha. See, this Bhagavad Pada's work is published in about 10 volumes. So one of the volumes is exclusively for stotras. If you look at that volume, you will find almost 65 stotras, around 65 stotras which have been composed. Some of them can be very short, see, Shatpadi, 6 stanzas. Some of them like Sivanandalahari will have almost 100, so Saundaryalahari and so. So this is the kind of great contribution that has been made by Bhagavad Pada to cater to the needs of philosophers as well as a common man. Okay. So this is a great blessing that he has given us. In fact, Yatipateher audaryam ascharyakrut, Yatipatehe audaryam atyadbhutam. That is what we have to say, considering the stotras that he has blessed with us. So this said, now let me spend a couple of minutes on explaining to you the word Sivanandalahari. The word Sivanandalahari is a compound word. Okay? So it has 3 words in that. Shiva, Ananda, Lahari. Lahari is used even in Saundarya Lahari, Sivananda Lahari. There is one text which is called simply Ananda Lahari. So Lahari means basically a huge wave. is what is called Lahari. Huge tide is called Lahari. Mahatarangaha. Sometimes this is also used to refer to Allola Kallola. Okay. So it is also used to refer to a huge tide. And when it creates some such thing, that is also referred to in common language. So this is also used in that sense. The effect that has been created by a huge tide. So it is also. So this Lahari basically means that. Then we have the word Anandalahari. You can think of this to be a huge tide of joy, right? Anandalahari. After that, Anandasya Lahari, Anandalahari. After that, you have to tag the word Shiva. Simple derivation will be Shivasya Anandalahari, Shiva Anandalahari. Now, the Shivasya can be understood in two ways. One, Shiva referring to the deity as a proper noun. The other way is Shiva referring to Mangalam, in which case it is a neuter gender word. Shivam means Mangalam. Shivam. In fact, there is a beautiful usage in the sense of Mangalam. In Raghuvamsha, he uses this. Upapannam nanu Shivam. Tell the verse. Upapannam nanu Shivam. Upapannam nanu Shivam. Saptasvangeshu yasya me. Saptasvangeshu yasya me. Saptasvangeshu yasya me. Daivinam manushinam cha. Daivinam manushinam cha. Daivinam manushinam cha. Pratiharta tvamapadam. Pratiharta tvamapadam. Pratiharta tvamapadam. The content of this is something that is very beautiful. See, this is how we need to know how to make even conversation in a dignified way with dignified people. See, diplomatic way. So this Dilipa actually goes to meet the Rishi Vasishtha. So then he asks him, so is everything fine in the kingdom? The answer that he gives is Upapannam nanu Shivam Saptasvangeshu yasya me Daivinam manushinam cha Pratiharta tvamapadam. Apat can be broadly divided into two types. One is something for which you know the cause. Okay, this fellow did this robbery, this fellow did that, etc., etc. This is Manushi Apat. Okay. So trouble created by minister, trouble created by somebody. So this is all Manushi Apat. Okay. The other Apat is for which you don't know. Okay. So there is no rainfall, etc., etc. There are famine and so on. So these are all Daivi Apat. So here he says, Tvam Pratihartam. See, you are the sage. By your penance, so you are safeguarding. You are safeguarding my kingdom, you are my Guru. And therefore, he says, Upapannam nanu Shivam. But for Mangala, what can be there in my kingdom? Okay. So this is how he presents his view in response to what the Rishi was asking. Did you understand? Upapannam nanu Shivam. Upapannam means yuktam. Okay. Daivinam manushinam cha pratiharta. Why am I saying this? This Shivam is used in the sense of Mangalam. See, Upapannam nanu Shivam. It is indeed appropriate that my kingdom is well protected. So all the troubles have been avoided by you. Now this is the word Shiva used in the sense of Mangala. Now you can think of deriving this Sivanandalahari in two ways. One is Shivasya. You can either take it as neuter or you can take it as masculine word. If you take it as a masculine word, then Shivasya Anandalahari. Anandalahari, here you just think of, see, so Ananda Prapika Lahari. See, Ananda Rupa Lahari, you can either see. So this set of verses, see, which is a joy, see, by itself. Okay. So Ananda Lahari, which is a huge wave of joy, if you read properly and enjoy, then the verse itself, the chanting of the verse itself is a great joy. Okay. So Ananda Lahari, this stotra, Shivasya means pertaining to Shiva. So this Pratipadya Pratipalaka Bhava Sambandha. Shashti is in general refers to some Sambandha. So Vishaya Vishi Bhava. Such a Shiva Vishayini Ananda Lahari. So you can just think of Shivananda Lahari. The other, in the sense of Mangala, if you want to say, this can be considered as Prapya Prapaka Bhava. Shashti Sambandha. Okay. Mangala Prapika Iyam Ananda Lahari. This is one way of deriving this. The other way of deriving is, you can think of both Shiva and Ananda, separate words. Shivanandayoho Prapika Iyam Lahari. Shivananda Lahari. This is how you can understand. So it brings in all the auspiciousness and well-being for you. It also generates immense joy in you by chanting this. Okay. So Shivananda Lahari. So this is something which has been hinted by even Bhagavad Pada in the second verse, as we will see. This is Shivananda Lahari. Okay. So this is how we can understand this word Shivananda Lahari. Okay. Now we move on to the text itself. This text, Shivananda Lahari, is one of the most beautiful set of hymns which I have ever read. See, from the viewpoint of even the poetic beauty. So there are some verses which can actually make you feel, see, really immersed into it, and you will merge and you will start even crying. Okay. So this can be depicting the kind of emotions that the people have, and you are trying to surrender to Ishvara in your helpless state. So if you are able to connect to what has been stated, then this will make you melt. So this is one set of verses that you can think of. The other is, so I don't have sort of devotion, I just want to view it as purely Sanskrit literature. Okay. Then also I think this will stand out. That is the kind of composition that we have here, the imagination that we have here, and the kinds of figures of speech that he has employed. So this is all really amazing. Okay. So this is an immortal piece of creation with abundant poetic charm and beauty, which has been given to us by Bhagavad Pada. And this has been composed in several meters. It is not a uniform meter which is employed throughout the text. Certain stotras will have uniform meter. See, for instance, Muda Karat Samodakam Sada Mukti Sadhakam. All of them will be in the same meter. You find Bhagavad Pada changing meter to meter at various places. Particularly towards the end, some short meters have been employed. Commences with a very nice verse which has plenty of alliteration. So in fact, alliteration itself has been classified into Shabdalankara, and the Shabdalankara has been further classified into several types. So what you find here will be what is generally referred to as Yamaka. So let us chant the first verse, you will repeat. Kalabhyam Chudalankruta Shashikalabhyam Kalabhyam Chudalankruta Shashikalabhyam Kalabhyam Chudalankruta Shashikalabhyam Nijatapah Phalabhyam Bhakteshu Prakatita Phalabhyam निजतपःफलाभ्यां भक्तेषु प्रकटितफलाभ्याम् निजतपःफलाभ्यां भक्तेषु प्रकटितफलाभ्यां भवतु मे शिवाभ्याम् अस्तोकत्रिभुवनशिवाभ्याम् शिवाभ्याम् अस्तोकत्रिभुवनशिवाभ्याम् हृदि पुनर्भवाभ्याम् आनन्दस्फुरदनुभवाभ्याम् हृदि पुनर्भवाभ्याम् आनन्दस्फुरदनुभवाभ्याम् नतिरियम्. Now I alone will chant. You can listen to कलाभ्यां चूडालङ्कृतशशिकलाभ्यां निजतपःफलाभ्यां भक्तेषु प्रकटितफलाभ्यां भवतु मे शिवाभ्याम् अस्तोकत्रिभुवनशिवाभ्यां हृदि पुनर्भवाभ्याम् आनन्दस्फुरदनुभवाभ्यां नतिरियम्. So the first quarter and the third quarter have been clubbed by a samastapada, and therefore I did not break with the quarter. You will see the break in the quarter a little later. This is one of the 17 syllabled meters. The meter in which this verse has been composed is called Shikharini. In fact, there are a few more verses which will all be in Shikharini. Later, some other will be changed. This is Shikharini. The Shikharini Vritta has the following definition. रसै रुद्रैश्छिन्ना यमनसफलागशिखरिणी. Okay, रसैः रुद्रैः छिन्ना. रसैः refers to 6, rudraihi refers to 11. So the 17 syllables will be generally broken after 6 and 11. Okay, रसै रुद्रैश्छिन्ना यमनस भलागः शिखरिणी. Yamanasa bha. And then lagaha means Laghu and Guru. This is how the Yagana. Okay, Yagana is Yamata. See, you see Kalabhyam. Understand? So each Gana refers to 3 syllables. So you can very easily see Ya. First one, Kalabhyam Yamata. Okay, Kalabhyam Chudalankrita Shashikalabhyam. Now, in this verse, as such, you see, at least 3 letters are sort of repeating. See, Kalabhyam, Kalabhyam. Bhavabhyam, Bhavabhyam, and so on. You see, so this is actually called as Yamaka. So Anuprasa can be simply the repetition of 1 syllable or sometimes even 2 syllables. So here it is a group of syllables. In fact, the word itself repeats. So in one place it appears as a separate word. In another place, it appears as a compound word. You will see all that. So here, Natiriyam, Natihi is Pranatihi, salutations. So my salutations are unto whom? Shivabhyam iyam natihi. This is what he says. And this Shivabhyam is described by various epithets in the verse. Starts with Kalabhyam, Chudalankrita Shashikalabhyam, 2, Nijatapaphalabhyam, 3, Bhakteshu Prakatita Phalabhyam. Then Shivabhyam, we can keep it, Astoka Tribhuvana Shivabhyam Hridi Punarbhavabhyam Anandaspuradhanubhavabhyam. So there are 7 descriptions that you can think of if you take Shivabhyam Yam Natihi. Okay. So Kalabhyam is the first description. Both Shiva and Parvati have been together described in this because you have a dual. Okay. Kalabhyam, both are described as embodiment of art, music and so on. Okay. In fact, any kind of kala or sampat, one of the meanings which has been given even to the word Shiva, the derivation of Shiva itself, Sherate Animad Yashtaishwarya Asmin, so in this Vyakti, okay, therefore it is Shiva. This is one of the ways. Okay, so this is how it is described. Mangala Rupa, okay, Kalabhyam. All the Ashtaishwarya are Mangala, right? Animad Ashtaishwarya is something which brings in well-being, auspicious. Now, Kalabhyam, both of them are referred to as, in fact, Kala Rupini is a description that we find to Ambal in various places, various songs. Okay. Kalabhyam Chudalankrita Shashikalabhyam. The second epithet that we have is Chudalankrita Shashikalabhyam. What is Chuda? Chuda. So somehow when I came to this place, people use the word Chuda. 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 Okay. Chuda. Chuda refers to, in fact, the famous thing is Chudamani. The word where Chuda has been used is Chudamani. Viveka Chudamani. We have the text, right? Viveka Chudamani. Chudamani Pradhanam in Ramayana, you would have heard. Okay. So, Mani is a certain jewel. A jewel or gem that adorns Chuda is Chudamani. Adorns Chuda means, Chuda refers to this shikha at the top place in the head, not all shikhas. Okay. Shiro Madhyavarti Shikha is what is referred to as Chuda. In fact, once some taxi fellow, I remember now, a taxi fellow, so he had this, many of these fellows would have this Sikha, North Indian fellows. Once I asked him what happened to that. Oh, Chuda kisi ne kaat diya. That fellow was saying. When I went to the shop, the barber cut that also. He uses the word Chuda for referring to that. You understand? So why am I saying this? This is because Shikha Madhyavarti. Actually it is supposed to be of the size of a Goshpada at the center of the head. Okay, that is how this Shikha is generally kept. That is the Lakshana. So it will be exactly at the center, at the top. So this is described as Chuda. Now the Rakodi, in the Tamil Rakodi, the correct correct. See, understand? So Chudayaha Alankaranam Anena Kriyate Idi Chudamanihi. So this is an Abharana, Chudamanihi. That is how it is employed. In fact, there is a nice verse. No? I'll tell you this verse. Chudamani Kritavidhu. Repeat.
Chudamani Kritavidhu.
Chudamani Kritavidhu. Valayi Krita Vasukihi. Bhavo Bhavatu Bhavyaya. Bhavo Bhavatu Bhavyaya. Leela Tandava Panditaha. Leela
Tandava Panditaha.
So this Leela Tandava Panditaha, where have you read this? Muktavali, it is a Mangala Shloka. Chudamani Krita Vithulvalai Krita Vasukihi Bhavo Bhavatu Bhavyaya Leela Tandava Panditaha. So it is essentially the same description here. Chudamani Krita Vidhuhu is the description. Vidhuhu Chudamani Kritaha. So the one who has made Vidhu as Shirolankara. Sometimes this, see, Shirasaha Madhyavarti Shikha, it refers to. Sometimes it is also used as Shirolankara in that sense. Chudamani. Okay. So Chudamani Krita Vidhuhu means Vidhuhu is Chandraha. So the one who has made Chandra as an ornament in his head. This is how the description goes. Obviously it is Parameshwara. In some of the forms of Ambal also, you will find this Chandra, particularly in Kamakshi I have seen. You have seen. So in various places they will do this. And therefore, Chodalankrita Shashikalabhyam. This is the normal meaning that we will get. Now, those who are little more deep into Sanskrit, they may ask, how do you get this meaning from this word? So I will leave it for people to think about. Okay. So I can explain that later. So this is one meaning that you can give. The other meaning that you can give is, nowadays, if you go to some of these award ceremonies, it has become a general practice for people to say. So by giving him the award has received an award. You understand? The award is adorned by bestowing this person with this award. So that is what the people say. Similarly, you can say the moon is adorned by, you understand, by sitting here. Otherwise, so Chudalankrita Shashikalabhyam Nijatapah Phala. See, moon, the beauty of the moon has been enhanced by sitting on their head. Okay. Moon is adorned by adorning their head. Chodalankrita Shashikalabhyam Nijatapah Phalabhyam. This is also a very beautiful usage. Nijatapah Phalabhyam. Tapah Phala means the outcome of penance. Tapasaha Phalam Tapah Phala. So Tapah Phalabhyam, what does he mean by this? So Parameshwara is the outcome of the tapas of Parvati, and Parvati is the outcome of the tapas of Parameshwara. In fact, there is a beautiful Mangala Shloka. I think it is in Kuvalayananda, if I remember right, by Appai Dikshita. The verse goes like this. Paraspara tapas sampat. Paraspara tapas sampat. Phalayita parasparau. Phalayita parasparau. Phalayita parasparau. Prapancha mata pitarau. Prapancha mata pitarau. Prapancha mata pitarau. Pranchau jayapatistu maha. Pranchau jayapatistu maha. Pranchau jayapatistu maha. See, a beautiful composition. Paraspara tapas sampat phalayita parasparau. Ivarikkendavar avarikkendavar. In Tamil they used to say Ottar Kottar apdiye. So this is how it is described. So he, Parameshwara, should be conceived as the outcome of the tapas of Parvati. And Parvati should be conceived as the outcome of tapas of Parameshwara. So that, I mean, they are united. Okay? Prapancha Mata Pitarau Pranchau. Jayapati Stumaha. Jayapati, same as Dampati. Jayapati Stumaha. So let me praise them. Now here, Nijatapah Phalabhyam. So we have this description of Parvati getting into penance mode in order to obtain Parameshwara. In fact, the very word Uma, the poet describes Kalidasa. Umeti matra tapaso nishiddha paschadumakhyam sumukhi jagama. In fact, it's a very beautiful verse. The imagination of Kalidasa is amazing. He says, Tam Parvati Tyabhijanena namna. Repeat. Tam Parvati Tyabhijanena namna. Tam Parvati Tyabhijanena namna. Bandhu Priyam Bandhujano Juhave. Bandhu Priyam Bandhujano Juhave. Bandhu Priyam Bandhujano Juhave. Umeti Matra Tapaso Nishiddha. Umeti Matra Tapaso Nishiddha. Umeti Matra Tapaso Nishiddha. Paschadumakhyam Sumukhi Jagama. Paschadumakhyam Sumukhi Jagama. Paschadumakhyam Sumukhi Jagama. Sumukhi, the one who is very beautiful, the one who has beautiful looks. Sumukhi. Sumukhi. Paschat Umakhyam. Umakhya means, Akhya means name. She acquired the name Uma at a later date. Initially, how were people addressing? She was addressed as Parvati. Parvati because Parvatasya apatyam stri. Tam Parvati Tyabhijanena namna. See, the name that was acquired based on the lineage is Parvati. Tam Parvati Tyabhijanena namna. Bandhu Priyam. Bandhu Priyam means her manners were so pleasing that everyone was keen to embrace Parvati. She was so liked by all people. Bandhu Priyam, Bandhujano Juhave, they were calling. But then, once she decided that she is going to get into the mode of tapas in order to obtain, then the mother called her and then said, Oh, Ma, na, don't do nothing. Oh, chakku kubra urgently. She could not even call Parvati. Hey, poga then. You understand? So suppose you want to prevent somewhere from going somewhere, you just say, hey, don't go. Hey means, you don't even have the time to call that fellow's name. So similarly, oh ma, umedi matra tapaso nishiddha. So she was prevented from getting into tapas. Paschadumakhyam sumukhi jagama. Beautiful description of Kalidasa. You understand? Why am I saying this? I am saying this because this is described as Nijatapah Phalabhyam. Now think of they two are united. Prapancha Mata Pitaru. It's just one entity. So due to her tapas, he was obtained due to. Similarly, Parameshwara, I don't know where exactly the episode is, but it should be somewhere in one of the Puranas. Umedi matra tapaso nishiddha. So that is how the description in Kalidasa's Kumara Sambhava. Here, Nijatapah Phalabhyam Bhakteshu Prakatita Phalabhyam. Bhakteshu Prakatita Phalabhyam. Both of them both of them have been engaging themselves in fulfilling the desires of their devotees. Prakatita phalabhyam means explicitly fetch them what they want. There is one verse which perhaps I will try to recall. I don't immediately get. The content is very interesting. So this Nilakantha Dikshita, somewhere says, always there will be some fight between husband and wife. Some sort of a quarrel will be there. Okay. So the Nilakantha Dikshita said, in order to see that we don't quarrel with each other, only if there are two mouths will there be quarrel. So he decided that they will have only one mouth. Understand? They became Ardhanarishvara. Okay. So the Nilakantha Dikshita imagines like that. So he says, this is something which is happening again and again, so let us not quarrel with each other, let us become one. Okay. So then this poet says, even then, the quarrel did not end now. Why? He says, there are two legs now. If the devotee praises Ardhanarishvara, okay, so Parvati says, I will go first. Whether the left leg has to be kept first or the right leg has to be kept first. So then also quarrel did not end. So he just says generally this is going to be there anyway. Even if you become one form, this quarrel is going to be there. Let us live with that. Anyway, that is a very nice funny verse. I'll try to get that verse later. I'm just not getting it. Anyway, nijatapa phala bhakteshu prakatita phalabhyam. So both of them are bent upon blessing the devotees with what they seek for. Bhakteshu prakatita phalabhyam bhavatu me. See, bhavatu me. See, me natihi bhavatu. That is all we have to. Bhavatu me. Then Shivabhyam astoka tribhuvana Shivabhyam. Shivabhyam. So this is Shivascha Shivacha. Okay. So Shivabhyam. Shivabhyam astoka tribhuvana Shivabhyam. Astoka tribhuvana Shivabhyam. Astoka. Stoka means Svalpa. Okay. Stoka means Svalpa. Astoka tribhuvana Shivabhyam means the kind of prosperity that they bring in is something which is abundant in measure. Therefore, he says, not only for Bhuvana, for all the three words, Astoka Tribhuvana Shivabhyam. See, so we have, Navaratri is being celebrated now. So unless she does the Mahishasura Mardana, so Shiva will not be there, Mangalam will not be there. So similarly, if Parameshwara were not to take Kala Visha, then the world would have perished. See? So that is how he says, Astoka Tribhuvana Shivabhyam. Astoka, abundant measure. Astoka Tribhuvana Shivabhyam. In fact, I am reminded of a very beautiful verse. I don't know where exactly I read this. Parameshwara's Kala Visha is something which is beautifully described. Goes like this: Drishtva kaustubham apsaro ganamapi prakrantavada mitha girvahana kativa nasanti bhuvane bharadivah kevalam nishkrante garale drute suragane nischeshtite vishtape mabhaishteti gira viraha sadhuriyo devastamevastu maha. Very nice word. Drishtanto. Drishtva kaustubham apsaro. Now why I am saying Tribhuvana Shivabhyam. So So that's what I wanted to just tell you. This Tribhuvana Shiva, that Kalahalamsha. Drishtva kaustubham apsaro ganamapi. It says, Drishtva kaustubham. Kaustubham drishtva. So various things came during the Amrita Mathana. So when good things come, so people just say, this is all because of me, I want to have this, etc. etc. That's what he says. Drishtva kaustubham apsaro ganamapi prakrantavada mithaha girvanaha kativa nasanti bhuvani. How many girvanas are not there? Bharadivah kevalam. See, Nishkrante garale drute suragani. See, so when this garala came, drute suragani. See, all the devas, they just disappeared from the sea. Drute suragani. Nischeshtite vishtape. See. So we know that he has done several good things for this world. Nischeshtite vishtapi. Even the other world, nischeshtitam means it became motionless. Nischeshtite vishtape. Then Mahabhishteti. Shiva appeared there. And then said, Mahabhishta. May you not be scared of. Vira vira sadhuriyo devas. Tamevas tumaha yaha dhuri avirasa means who came in front. Devas tamevas tumaha. How it goes. See, Tribhuvana Shivabhyam. Now, further he says, Bhavabhyam anandaspuradhanubhavabhyam. Bhavabhyam anandaspuradhanubhavabhyam. Bhavabhyam. Here also, bhavaha, from that word, one can say. See, the best way to understand this will be those who are residing. Residing where? Residing in the hearts of the devotees. Residing in the hearts of devotees. Hridi punar bhavabhyam. So that's what it says. Hridi bhavabhyam means they are residing. Residing in which form? Anandaspuradhanubhavabhyam. So anandaspuradhanubhavabhyam. This word Anandaspuradhanubhava. So one can use Anandena Spuran Anubhavaha. You just say, this is Abhede Tritiya. You just say. Okay? So, in the form of Ananda. In the form of Ananda, they are available in the hearts of those who contemplate upon him. What does this mean? This implies that by contemplating upon them, you are going to be filled with happiness. Bhavabhyam anandaspuradhanubhavabhyam natihiyam. I offer my salutations unto that Shiva and Shiva. Shivabhyam. Now let us read this. Kalabhyam chodalankruta shashikalabhyam nijatavah phalabhyam bhakteshu prakatita phalabhyam bhavatu me. Shivabhyam astokat tribhuvana shivabhyam hridi punarbhavabhyam anandaspuradhanubhavabhyam nadiriyam. Chodalankruta shashikalabhyam nijatapaha. Up to that, the first quarter actually ends. But then, since it is a compound word, it will not be appropriate to split there. So therefore, you have to say together. You can sort of give a slight pause. Kalabhyam chudalankruta shashikalabhyam nijatapah phalabhyam bhakteshu prakatita phalabhyam bhavatu me Shivabhyam astu. In the second part, if you see, Phalabhyam bhakteshu, you can see there the yati. Phalabhyam bhakteshu rasaihi. Phalabhyam bhakteshu prakatita phalabhyam bhavatu me. Then you get 11. Prakatita phalabhyam bhavatu me. Shivabhyam astoka. So there will be a sort of pause, you can, very slight pause you can give. Shivabhyam astokat tribhuvana shivabhyam hridi punaha. See, even when the poets try to compose like this, they always try to break with a word. So though it may be a part of a compound, so they will not do otherwise. Okay. Shivabhyam astokat Tribhuvana Shivabhyam. So though Astoka cannot be taken off from there. Astokat Tribhuvana Shivabhyam Hridi Punaha Bhavahabhyam Anandasphuradanubhavabhyam Natiriyam Bhavabhyam Ananda Spuradanubhavabhyam Natiriyam. So this is basically commencing the work with pranidhana of Shiva. Mangalapadya generally will be in the form of namaskara to Ishtadevata. So here he has put both of them together. See, in this verse, it is not only describing Shiva or only describing Parvati. Okay. So it is obviously this is Sivanandalahari and therefore it has to be in place of Shiva. But then Bhagavad Pada has decided to just compose this so that both Parvati and Parameshwara, okay, Jagatah Pitaru Vande Parvati Parameshwarau, okay, as a single unit. So that is how all the descriptions here are generic in nature. So just to conclude, before we take up this next verse, because we don't have time, this those who are not familiar, I'll just explain in 2 minutes. So this chandas, okay. So I told you first is yagana, then the next one is ya ma. Ma is all guru. Matara. You just see Kalabhyam Chudalang. See, so Chudalang. So all the three are Guru. See. Anandas. So it will be Guru. See. Ya Ma Ta. See. Ta is Tagana. Ta Raja. Guru Guru Laghu. Okay. Ta Raja is Guru Guru Laghu. Yama Ta. Okay. What is it? Ya Ma. Na is it? Ya Ma Na. See. Na is all Laghu. See. Ya Ma Na. Short syllables. Ya Ma Na. Sa. Sa La Gam. Laghu Guru. See. Sa La Ga. So if you just mark, you can see that this will be the pattern for next few verses. I think quite a few verses are composed in Shikharini Vrata. Ya ma na sa bha. See, bhagana. Bha na sa. Guru Laghu. Laghu. Guru Laghu Laghu. And then finally Laghu and Guru. Yamanasa bhalagaha. Yamanasa bhalagashikarini. So this is how the definition of Shikharini goes. So Yamatara Japana Salagam is a phrase, so people can just note down. Yamatara Japana Salagam. So if you remember this phrase, then you can figure out all the ganas. Okay. Rasaihi Rudraish Chinna Yamanasabhalaga Shikarini. Okay, so with this, I think we will close the first class. Om Sarve Sukhinas Santu, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet.